Is heart disease preventable? Can heart disease be conquered? Can the arteries be cleaned out? Can the heart be strengthened? But when you understand that the human body's been designed to heal itself, I think you'll realise that the answer to all those questions is yes. And we've seen some incredible turnarounds in the health retreats that I've been running. So what I'd like to look at is, I'd like to start with a Bible verse, and it's found in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, where the Bible says, keep the heart with all diligence, because out of it are the issues of life. So keep the heart with all diligence, meaning we've got to look after this heart, we've got to strengthen this heart, and it can be strengthened. So we're going to look at that. And then the next part says, because out of it are the issues of life. Leviticus 17:11, the Bible says that the life of the flesh is in the blood. And we know that the heart is the pump that pumps the blood all through the human body. So any part of the body that is not getting blood will actually die. It'll quickly die. So there are some simple treatments that can strengthen the heart. There are some simple herbs and things that can keep that blood nice and thin and even open and strengthen the arterial walls. But what the heart is it's a muscle. So let's have a look at what the muscle is made up of. It's made up of cells. And as we've looked at a few times this week, the glucose goes into the cell under the action of insulin, and we're going to be looking at insulin in a little bit more detail after the break. So the insulin is the key that unlocks the door to get the glucose into the cell. When the glucose gets into the cell, it goes through a 20-step pathway, and this 20-step pathway delivers 2 units of energy. The end result of the 20-step pathway is a chemical form of glucose, and this chemical form of glucose is called pyruvate. Pyruvate, as the chemical form of glucose, gets fed into what's often called the powerhouse of the cell, called the powerhouse of the cell because this 8-step pathway delivers to us 36 units of energy. What makes the difference is oxygen. Whereas the 20-step pathway does not use oxygen. The 20-step pathway creates energy by the process of fermentation. Our heart is a muscle, and the muscle is made up of cells, and here is how the cell is working. When we ensure that we're getting adequate oxygen coming in, every single cell that makes up the muscle, the heart, it'll work more effectively. So I'm going to be listing here the true remedies, those 8 laws of health. So pure air, when we're breathing in pure air, I trust you're breathing pure in while you're sleeping. I trust your windows are open every night. And the most powerful way to oxygenate your body is exercise. And exercise is probably the number one way to strengthen the heart. And probably your pulse is one indication of how strong your heart is. The stronger your heart is, the lower your pulse will be. And that's not genetics. My son, Peter, when he was 25, he's in his mid-30s now, he was training for a triathlon. And he was running up and down the hills behind Brisbane. So what he was doing, and this is the most effective form of exercise, it's the high-intensity interval training. So as the name implies, they are intervals of high intensity and intervals of recovery. And when you're exercising where there are hills, that's what you got. It's high intensity up, recovery down.